like most people, I haven't tapped into that America's Next Top Model Netflix documentary. And I will say most of the things discussed so far, I've only seen 2 of the episodes. They're not new to me or surprising because I very vividly remember a lot of these situations and photo shoot ideas that happened on the show. Like, America's Next Top Model was such a staple in my childhood. So again, a lot of these memories and these situations were very distinct in my memory. The one thing that has genuinely surprised me so far is the Shandy situation. I vividly remember that being framed as though she cheated. And so to know the background of that actually being more of an situation. I don't know how YouTube works with, again, blocking certain words, but to know that was more of an situation where she was highly intoxicated and things went further than she wanted is very disturbing. And to know that they filmed all that, and then her mentioning how when she had that conversation with her boyfriend and he called her and all that, she's bawling on the floor crying, and the videographers are telling her, I'm sorry, we had to record all of that. It's just like, where's the line? Where are the boundaries? Or because you sign up for reality TV, you're just expected to give up all boundaries. It reminds me of a video I saw today on Instagram actually, where the woman was talking about just because you don't have boundaries doesn't mean I have to walk all over you with that awareness. So I don't know, to put that in context with reality TV, just because you can, what's the word I'm looking for? Just because you can exploit people doesn't mean you should. If you have integrity and morals and respect and dignity for yourself, and you want to allow other people to have their dignity, and allow is even a crazy word to use for that, but that's what it reminds me of. It really just brings me back to people who can take advantage will. And it's interesting how people will look at the models as like silly because they signed up for it. What do you expect? And yada, yada, yada. But it's always interesting how enough people aren't mad at the people who knowingly take advantage of others. And at the end of the day, that's what it makes me think about. And it sucks that it's like a vicious cycle that continues to this very moment. I also find it very ironic that Tyra allegedly created this show and like as a juxtaposition to the standards in the modeling industry, just to then align with those standards at the same time. So it's like, I feel like it makes the intended message she had not very strong, because it's like you're not really standing on that message or standing on those intentions. And again, I get what she was trying to do, but if we're seeing all these clips of her saying, well, the reality of the modeling industry, or I'm paraphrasing, you know, it's like, so if you're saying that, but the intention of your show juxtaposes that, then what is the point? Not what's the point, because I understand she was still pushing the envelope and showing diverse beauty, but you get what I mean. You get the conflict that's there. So I'm interested to continue watching the documentary and see like what they may have to say about that. Another thing that's interesting is like, maybe I'm putting too much on Tyra. I mean, it was her show creation from what they're saying, but certain moments it feels like she doesn't feel the gravity of the actions she chose. Like, she's kind of saying like, oh, certain situations, this was just a sign of the times, this is just the way things were, and it wasn't right, and this and that. But at the same time, there's this air of like a disassociation from responsibility that's really interesting, and that I'm settling on and thinking about. Because yeah, you may not have control over all aspects of the TV show, but again, you are in control to a certain extent. And I think she was an executive producer. Don't quote me on that. Allegedly. Everything's alleged. But I don't know. It just makes me question how much control she did or didn't have. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand she doesn't have all the power. I know there's people in the network and this and that. But I don't know. It just feels like sometimes she was absolving herself from a little bit of the shared blame that a lot of people need to take for the way certain things were portrayed. And I'm just sitting with that. So, have you seen the Netflix documentary on America's Next Top Model yet? If you have, what are your thoughts? Was any of this stuff new to you? Or were you kind of like, yeah, I was there when it happened. I smelled some BS. Let me know your thoughts down below. Later, y'all.